All right, here we go. 11 o'clock on 2/2/23. Already burned up January. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. So anyway, I want to open up today. I'm going to share some automation stuff with you guys today. Like how I automate campaigns, how I do lead generation, how I can lead someone into an evergreen webinar, or in the case of what I'm putting together today, just a simple video. It's just simply a sales video. So I'll show you guys how that all works, but I want to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions before we jump into that. Some of you get into the program and you have burning questions, and I don't want to make you wait for that stuff. So if you got anything, go ahead and put your hand up. I typically don't monitor the chat on this thing. So if you do have questions, either if you don't know how to raise the hand with the little reactions tab down at the bottom, like Linda just did, go ahead, unmute.
I have a question about Instagram.
Okay.
I have a personal account. So if I switch it to business, will I lose my followers or?
I don't believe so. I don't really mess around too much with Instagram. I know I'm pretty sure it's connected with Facebook. So you might have a business portion to it already. And I know like within Facebook, I'm more familiar with Facebook than I am Instagram.
Okay.
You can like go in between your different profiles. And I'm sure since it's created by Facebook, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. So I don't think, in fact, when you create your business thing, it might not even have the same followers. You might have to create new followers inside the business section for that. But that should not wipe out your personal followers. Not at all. That would be the furthest thing that I think they would want to do to you.
Okay. All right.
They would not create raving fans doing that.
Okay. I'm experimenting. Thank you.
Sure. I think it was last week, I gave a demonstration on how to go into Facebook itself and create an actual mailing list inside of Facebook, which is really cool. You can, we talk about segmenting your audience a lot. It's really important that you make sure that the right people get the right message. And in Facebook, I'm much more familiar with Facebook, and I'm sure Instagram is the same way. But you have all of your followers, and then you can separate them into different categories. Like you can turn them into lists. So I showed last week how to create a list inside of Facebook, and then you could go in and you can assign certain people to that list. And that way, when you actually put a post up, if you've got a ton of followers, Facebook and Instagram, their algorithm is not going to show it to all of them. It's going to show it to the ones that it thinks is going to want to see it, which is a lot of times your friends and family, because they're the most engaged with you. And if you're doing business stuff and you're trying to promote something and it's just going out to your friends and family, you're not going to get much action with that. You want to make sure that goes to the right people. So when you create a post, you can tell it who you want it to go out to. You can say if it's public and it just goes out to the public, or you can say, I just want it to go to my friends and family, or you can create a custom list and have it go right to them. So segmentation is really important in your marketing, because what will happen, and this is especially the case if you have a regular mailing list and you're sending email, and you're just sending, like, say you got everybody in one big bucket and you just send the same stuff to everybody, there's going to be some people in that bucket that don't want that stuff. Like for instance, in my case, I do SEO software, I do web development, I do marketing, I do all these different things, and it's not everybody in the bucket wants all of that stuff. Like the SEO guys, they're very fickle. They only want specifically SEO stuff. That's search engine optimization. Somebody that is, let's say I've done a website for somebody, and now I start sending them SEO stuff that I know they're not interested in. What's liable to happen is they're going to just unsubscribe. And now I just lost a viewer. So you got to be careful of that. So that's why you want to segment your lists. The more segmented, the better. Like even for the same product, you might have people that are buying the same product for a different reason. And if you start talking about that product in a different way, you might alienate them. So there's a lot of situations like that. Let's say you're in a health product and you've got something that solves migraine headaches, but the same product also does back pain relief. Well, if you start sending back pain relief to somebody that only suffers migraine headaches, they're going to say, I don't want this, and they're going to unsubscribe, and you just lost a potential customer. So be very, very protective of your lists. That's really important. All right, any other questions, or should I jump into examples here? I know there was a couple of people that said they wanted me to look at stuff. So again, I don't look at the chat. So if you got something, hop out or wave at me or something like that. I see Daryl's got his hand up, and then Helene. Daryl, we're not. Oh, now we can. Yep.
Okay. I had a quick question. Going through like the ACT program, you have on there how to come up with your ideal, make a list of your ideal, client or customer.
Yeah, the segments.
And yes, and I've done that. I mean, is this an appropriate time to kind of go through, the list and see if I'm on the right track, or is this not an appropriate time for that?
No, that's fine. It's always an appropriate time on this call for anything you need.
Okay, super. So through the analysis part, you had mentioned to name your ideal client. So I did, and her name is Jill, because most of the people I work with are women.
Okay.
And so my ideal client would be female, 35 to 50 years old, 2 kids. They enjoy cooking, entertaining. They live a healthy lifestyle. They're very outgoing, friendly, social, engaging, open-minded, and conversational. They live a busy lifestyle, but want to take the time to have meals as a family. They care about the quality of the food and what they are serving to their family. They'll spend extra money on organics and wild products and quality items. They entertain at home with friends and colleagues. They like to try new foods and recipes. They have a college degree. They live in an affluent neighborhood. They have an expendable income of $300,000 plus. Their neighborhood is friendly and social, and they refer me to others because they like to share. And they are friendly. They look forward to seeing me and trying new things. And they like the personal service. They trust me. They appreciate me, and they can count on my professionalism. And they see me as an equal business owner. And their kids are involved with sports and activities, and they enjoy having nice things. And that is kind of like my list.
Wow. Who are these people? I want to sell to them. No,
that's who I sell to.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In that information, when you were digging that up, do you know that stuff from personal experience with them, or how did you come up with that information?
Yes, personal experience, interactions with them. Yeah.
Awesome. That's the best way to do it. So it definitely sounds like you're onto it. You've got it nailed. One of the things that I would expand upon with all of that stuff is you told me a lot about what they want. Like the particularly what hit me, like what really clicked with me was they were eating good, healthy food.
Right.
The question is, okay, why is that important to them? See, this is where you're going to dig out all the emotion and stuff. It's really important that you lay down who they are, what they want, but you got to take that extra step further into why they want it. That's where you're going to attach to the emotion when you start doing your copy.
Okay. And then, I mean, I can just simply, since I interact with them, I can just simply ask them that.
Yeah. Or you can, there's a lot of stuff where you can do some intuitive hops here.
Yeah.
The more you know about them, the better that you'll be at that. Like I personally got really good at that because I've worked with so many people in so many industries, and I've already turned over most of these rocks. So you turn over a lot of rocks in the discovery process. And you know, people ask me, how do you know without doing the research? And it's because I've been involved with so many people along the way that have already done the research. So I've got to kind of see under the hood on a lot of different industries. But that's the key thing, the key element. You put a name to her. What was her name again? Jill. So the reason that you put a name to Jill is so you can vision her as though you're speaking to her. That's really hard to do if you don't have somebody in mind. And that's also why you put a picture to her. Like you can go on, you know, Google Images, and you can just, you know, type in, you know, who you're looking for, and you'll get an image of, you know, a lady that looks like that. And it's really important. Like when you're doing this stuff and you're sitting down to write your copy, or you're thinking about, you know, how you're going to present your offers and stuff like that, it's important to know who you're talking to. Like a good salesperson, that's the first thing they do. It's observation. They look around and they're getting all the visuals of what's important to this person, and then they're looking them in the eye when they're talking to them. You know, if you don't do that, you kind of disengage. And if you're disengaged when you're creating a conversation, the person on the other end is going to know it. They're going to feel it. It's going to feel not right, disingenuous. And so if you really want to, and with marketing online, it's even 10 times more important, because we don't get the advantage of being in front of them and seeing their reactions. And, you know, we only get one shot at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. If we lose them during the game, they're gone. So if you're writing let's say you're writing a long page sales letter, and it's going to take Jill 20 minutes to read it. You don't want to like knock her out of the picture in the first 5 minutes. You got to keep her engaged. So you need to speak to her. She has to feel like you're literally talking to her.
Right.
So that's why the whole avatar thing is so important, digging all that stuff out. But to me, the premise to me is more about why. I have found if I dig out the whys in something, I will be so much more powerful. And that goes for anything I'm doing. And throughout my entire life, if I know the why behind it, it's always better for me.
So how are you getting that information out of them then?
A lot of times, like for me, a lot of times it's intuitive. I can see their lifestyle. I know why. Maybe they've had, a family member or something that got sick and died of something. So they've changed their lifestyle for that. So when you see that, you know why. You know, there's a lot of stuff. The more you can dig out conversations, like you said, you know them because you've worked with them. So it's hard to work with people without hearing a lot of their personal stories.
Right.
And for me, like I don't write them down, but I mentally catalog all that stuff. Like, I have a memory bank of stuff that it's pretty deep. So I can call on all kinds of experience to get these answers. Now, another thing that you can do, which is really cool, this is something that we have not had access to in the past to do this kind of research, is that ChatGPT program.
Right.
If you haven't played around with that, I really recommend you guys all play with that. The better the questions you ask, the better information it's going to give you. And that thing is literally amazing. It's like, I'm going to change some of the ACT training in the analysis piece to actually go through that more in depth, because that could almost take out all the rest of the tools. You might just be able to get everything you need right out of that thing. And for right now, I think they're going to keep it free. It's a free tool. You know, it's at openai.com. You can go, you can sign up and use their chat for free.
Hey, John, I just got an email that said they're going to be charging $20 a month for the free account.
Okay. That didn't last long then.
I just got it today. Yep, I just got it today. They did not have a date on it.
Okay. Okay.
But
So
$20, it's awesome.
yeah. For $20, it's a total bargain.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't think they were going to charge for it is because it's most of the money in it is Microsoft. And Microsoft is Bing. That's the Bing search engine.
Yep.
So that's, you know, they're gathering a lot of information from all over the web, including Bing, including Google. Well, Google doesn't like anybody to get ahead of them. So Google is working on creating a competing chat window for you guys. And what that tells me is Google will probably do it for free, which will force Bing to do it for free as well. So there's going to be a freebie war here between two major powerhouses. So that is in our favor. The only thing I'm a little skeptical with Google is Google likes to strip things out that's not in their best interest. So I would tend to believe that I would want to use the ChatGPT over whatever Google comes out with, just because I know how they work. Like Google Analytics, most people don't realize this, but Google Analytics came from a company called Urchin. And it was Urchin software. It was the absolute best analytics program on the planet. I was one of the first ones to get it for my customers, my hosting customers. And I bought, you know, mass licenses for it so I could give it to all my clients. And it gave the most detailed representation of every customer journey through your website. It was amazing. The data that it gave you was incredible. And it didn't last very long because Google did not want that kind of data out in the public. So they wound up buying it. They bought Urchin and they changed it to what you know now as Google Analytics. And they stripped out 90% of it. They stripped out the hardcore power behind it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a very similar thing happen with the AI chat. So history tends to repeat itself. So, all right, let's go to Helene.
John, a couple of weeks ago, you told us we should buy a program that essentially does everything that ChatGPT does, except we have to pay for it. And then last week you said we should stop using that program. And I'd really, really like to know what the name of that program is so that I can get rid of it.
Okay, well, it wasn't that I said to stop using it. What I really was talking about there was for my personal use, I'm kind of a power user. So I like, I like the gloves off when I go into battle. And what I felt like was I felt that program, it's called Marketing Blocks.
Oh, Marketing Blocks. Okay.
Yeah. And it was like $300 a year. So it's a fairly inexpensive deal, because a lot of the AI paid platforms are anywhere from $50 to $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really good deal. And if you're not like me, if you are not used to fighting with the gloves off, it might be really good for you, because they templatize a lot of stuff where I want the control. I want to be able to control the conversation, and I know how to do that. So when I get put into templates, it makes me feel really boxed in. On the other hand, if it wasn't me and you didn't know what to ask and you were just getting started, the templates might help you a lot. So I didn't like come out and say it was a bad program and that you should stop using. I just said I canceled my subscription to it because I knew I wasn't going to use it because of that. But most people are not in that realm. So it's a great program. It does a lot of really cool stuff. And it does a lot of stuff that the ChatGPT does not do. Like it'll do images, it'll do voice, it'll do all kinds of really cool stuff.
I
It's
looked
got
at
another
the
cool video
images.
feature.
I looked at the images and they really didn't suit what I was looking for, and that made me very dubious as to whether I wanted it.
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with the prompting too. It's how you ask for stuff, how you train it. So, all right, Rashid. Got to unmute. There you go.
Hey, John. I am beginning to use Kartra. I kind of like it, but
Okay.
I'm not very tech oriented, and I need to stop saying that so I can do a better job of learning it. And so I hired somebody to help me with it, and she did a decent job, but not complete.
Okay. Well, you're gonna love the next section when I get into the demo, because I'm going into Kartra for that.
Super, because I'm trying to figure out where the templates are, that the campaign templates, so I can what I wanted to create is not what she created was good enough to where it's works for my live workshop that I'm doing.
Okay.
But it's not giving me all the information. Like if people go to the page and then they don't, I have no way of contacting them. So I gotta figure all those things out.
I'll kind of give you a quick run through on all that stuff when I do the demo on it. So,
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, Erin.
Hi. So I'm I'm relatively new and I have my camera off. Sorry, it's doing some weird glitchy thing. So it's
Okay.
distracting. But yeah, I'm relatively new. I've been in the insurance business for a little over a year, and I'm drawn to this process because I want to attract the people that actually want to talk to me, not chase everybody down. And I just went to an awesome seminar and learned a lot, but you're kind of getting into the nitty gritty of like my avatar. And I just tend to have blocks. I've talked with my upline who does really well, because my kind of niche is creating income streams for retirees, which is considered safe money. So it's things like IULs and indexed annuities, so you don't lose in the down market. So I feel like now is really powerful time considering what happened last year. And I feel like I'm speaking more to the problem than a specific person, because I can help such a big, wide group, like starting, 30 all the way to knocking on retirement's door, or even they have money in retirement. So how, with such a big market, can I not fail by trying to reach everyone and dial it down? I've been looking in like AI and asking questions, and it's telling me to target baby boomers, but I just can't figure out, like Daryl did so eloquently, like speaking to that person.
Yeah. And you have a different thing here. And this is a perfect example of the need for segmentation.
Yeah.
You need to segment, because you like when you first said I'm in insurance, I was sitting here wondering, okay, is it life insurance, car insurance, homeowner insurance? And then when you said that, I was like, okay, I know what kind of insurance she's doing now. So that was a segmentation process for me to figure out which sector you were in.
Okay.
Now from that sector, this is different too, in the fact that these sectors are completely different. The way you sell them, the people that are going to buy them, they're totally different. Like for instance, car insurance. When you buy a car, you know you have to have car insurance, right?
Yeah.
They won't sell you a car unless you have car insurance, right? So that's a known thing. But the stuff you're talking about is not on people's radar. I would say probably a vast majority of Americans don't even know that stuff exists.
Exactly.
So they're in the unaware category of a prospect. So when you're marketing to the unaware, you have to take that into account. You can't market to them like they know they need this. You need to market to them. And it's like you said, it's a problem. And again, they're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not consciously aware of it. You know, it might pass through their head here and there, but it's not on the forefront. But when you shine a spotlight on the true problem, all of a sudden now you've activated them to be aware of it. And now they're going to start they're going to dig deeper and deeper into it. And that's where your marketing campaign is right there to guide them down the path.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be in different categories. Like your younger people, they're not going to have the same problem that somebody that's nearing retirement age and hasn't done anything and is not prepared for it. That person's in a little more dire situation. And again, they might not be aware of it because they haven't acknowledged it. You know,
Right.
we usually don't want to acknowledge things that we know we're not prepared for.
Yeah.
Like we just kind of put them off to the side and say, well, yeah, I'll deal with that when it actually bites me.
Yep.
So, you know, the shining the problem on what happens when you get bit is probably going to be your best angle in for those older folks. You know, for the younger folks, what you're focused on there is you're focused on lifestyle. You know, they're focused on how do I get a bigger, better life? You know, the ones that at the end of their life, they have different concerns. They're concerned with, you know, what happens if I run out of money and I can't work? It's
Mm-hmm.
a very different place that they're in. And, you know, when I talk about what they want, I talk about why they want it. You know,
Right.
the younger ones, they want it because they want to not work their whole life. They want to work as few years as possible and live high on the hog forever. So you need to talk to them differently, address them differently. They are much more entitled. You know, the younger generation, that's what a lot of people have said about it is they're labeling it as entitled. They think things are owed to them. And, you know, as they grow, they're going to find out that that's not true. That's going to be a very nasty awakening for them. But you have to deal with what's there, you know, what's existing, and that's what you're up against.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use everything you find you want to leverage to your advantage. And, you know, emotionally, for the most part, when you're marketing, if you're not connecting to their emotions, you're not being effective. And the only way you're going to do that is to figure out why they want things. Why?
Right.
It's always the why. The why is going to be the most important thing in everything that you do, you know, in the marketing end of things.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of hearing is almost like segment by kind of age group. So there would be the younger, which is kind of getting started, and that would be
And then
like
once,
the goal of working less. And then kind of the middle class you didn't touch on, but that's kind of their middle age, you know, like they're in the thick of their families. Maybe they're not really paying attention. So it's kind of grabbing their attention, you know, act now. So you're not knocking on retirement's door and you don't have a plan.
Yeah. The reason that the middle age typically buy insurance is protection. That's what they're buying it for. And it's not for themselves. You know, when you buy life insurance, that's not for you. That's to protect your family. That's all about love. You know, if you're not selling life insurance on love, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
Because that's something you're not buying it for you. And if you're not buying it for you and they're not focused on taking care of somebody, you're not going to make a sale. So that's why they would want it. You know, it's not what it does. It's like why they want that.
Mhm.
You know, it's like you got features and you have benefits, and then you have the why, and the why is always the most powerful. If you're focused on the features, you're completely 100% ineffective. Nobody cares. If you're focused on the benefits, you're getting warm. When you focus on the why and the emotion attached to it, now you got a hot rock that's going to burn your hands. You're going to play hot potato. That's where you want to be.
Okay.
That's how you're going to get them to move. Throw them a hot potato and they're not going to covet it. They're going to throw it up in the air and go, oh shit, get rid of this problem.
Yeah.
So it's always about problem solution sale.
Yes.
So create the hot potato and put it in their hands and give them a problem.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, there's more, but
What?
that's perfect for now.
Okay. One more thing I do want to throw back to you before I end that particular segment is when you've got a bunch of them, when you've segmented and you've got a bunch, I don't want you to think you have to create all these marketing campaigns at one time. In fact, I would encourage you not to. I would encourage you to focus on one until you get it complete and it's working.
Okay.
And you're going to ask which one. And that for me is very easy. It's always going to be the most profitable one. Yeah. And I've said this before, profit doesn't necessarily mean the most amount of money either. Like you might have one that would make you, a gazillion dollars, but it's going to tear your life apart to do it. I don't want you to do that. It's a balance. It's a balance between easy to achieve, very profitable, and going to make your life better, not worse. So when I'm talking about profitable, go for the most profitable one first. It's a balance between those things. That's where I'm always focused when I'm looking for which one I'm going to do first.
Okay.
So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be gearing towards the baby boomers because they would more than likely be over 59 and a half, and they can do a rollover to protect their money.
Yeah.
And it's where the younger, they'd be starting something up. So it's not as much. Plus it's more dire. So I think I would feel more fulfilled helping people not run out of money in retirement. That's my passion.
It's a great thing. And it's just so many people don't know. So the fact that you're going to create a marketing campaign to help them become aware and knowledgeable so they can help themselves, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Lisa.
How you doing, everybody?
Awesome.
So I was doing a workshop, the acting, and I'm having trouble with my avatar.
Okay.
I have a luxury fragrance brand, and it's like getting into the emotion of the people that I am marketing to. Okay. So my target audience is from like 45 to like 65. People that likes to go on vacation, shop at high-end stores.
So they like to spend money.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the biggest thing that you're looking for here is, and this is probably this could create your buckets for you, is ask the why they want it. Why do they want the luxury fragrances? Is it to attract a mate? Because that's one bucket. That's a very specific bucket. To make themselves attractive to the opposite sex. If that's it, that's your why, and you can start digging into those emotions of what that's going to do for them, why they want it, desired outcome, the whole enchilada. If they want it to be envied, that's a different bucket. This is like the person that's already married. This is the high society. They want to show up to the mixers and the events and say, oh my God, what is that you're wearing? That's significance. That's a completely different animal. So you can see the why is incredibly important here. And again, I didn't do any of that research. I know that from dealing with so many from the past. Like I said, I've swam in almost every bucket you can imagine. So it's just, you've got to narrow it down. You have to divide and conquer. You will never conquer if you don't divide. I mean, that's almost a cliche in warfare. You know, and you can look at the game of business as warfare. You don't want to lose. You do not want to get killed on the battlefield. So you have to divide and conquer.
So when you say, okay, when you say divide and conquer, right? So I told you my age group. So I should market for like the more 45 to like the 50, 55 as I want to attract a man, and then the older group as to the high society, you know, person that like to show up at the events and, you know, smell me, I smell great.
Yeah, and with yours specifically, I don't think it's near as much about age. I would take the age value and I would take that way down on the totem pole. For you, you're going to be looking at the why.
Okay.
Why do they want to smell good? That's going to give you your segments, and the age, they could be in any age bucket. Another bucket that you might look
the
at
thing is
is
the high end perfume.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking of age, I was thinking of who can afford to spend the money for my perfume.
I would think more important than age would be expendable income.
Okay.
So if they have an expendable income and they like to smell nice, then age goes right out the window.
Okay.
But you're going to still be clustering them on why they want to smell good. You know, is it the mate thing? Is it because, is it driven by the crowd? You know, do they want to be in the in crowd? Do they not want to be the only one at this event that doesn't smell good? You know, that's driven by peer pressure. So you have a lot of things that will create a why. You've got peer pressure, you've got significance, you've got, you know, desire for a mate, you've got, you know, there's all kinds of whys that you might come up with. I would say those are your buckets. You're trying to create. Remember, everybody remember this. You are trying to create one message to communicate with one avatar. So to figure out who the avatar is, you've got to segment the buckets. You have to say, okay, my avatar lives in this bucket of she needs love. She wants to attract the perfect mate. And now we've just in that little simple process, we've narrowed it down tremendously. We know the message has to be about that and nothing outside of that. She doesn't care about anything else. You know, so that's how I usually do it. And I can usually get to it really quickly by doing it that way.
John, can you explain divide and conquer? I didn't understand that.
Yeah, divide and conquer in war is like picking one small battle. You're not trying to win the entire war in one shot. So they're dividing it up as, okay, what can I do right now to get a win and advance a little bit? And then in the next 10 minutes, okay, what can I do next to win and advance a little bit? And in war, that's how a war is won. You don't eat the elephant in one bite. You eat it one bite at a time. So in marketing, it's divide and conquer. If you've got all these people you could sell to, if you try and sell to all of them, you're going to lose. That's like trying to win the war in one shot. Not going to happen. It's not a part of nature, right? So if you look at how things happen naturally, whether it be the mating process or war or marketing, those three have so much similarity, it's frightening. And it's a natural process. It's an evolution process. It's you have to do this to get that, to get the next thing. You know, it's like in a relationship, you don't walk up to a stranger and ask them to marry you, right? You might want to, but it's not going to work out for you very well. They're going to think you're a freak. And you know how that's going to end, right? You have to create a relationship to win that game. So you have to divide up what you're going to do and conquer things one thing at a time. It's the same thing with marketing. If you want to get a customer, you have to do the same thing. You have to divide up all the different customers, figure out what each one wants, so you can create a battle plan to win battles to ultimately win the war. When you get the customer on board, you win the war. So that's what I mean by divide and conquer.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So Judy, looks like you're up next.
Hi. So we were emailing back and forth the other day about that company that was going to charge me money to.
Oh, yes. Thrive.
But now I have another question. There's somebody that I met through my company. She's in my company that I'm with, and she does websites, and it's $400, and she'll do a really beautiful website. And I'm kind of thinking that's more something that I should do.
Okay. How much was it? 400?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a very reasonable price. But here's what I can tell you about that. Don't expect the person that's going to develop your website to develop your messaging. And that's the most important part of your website. So you're going to have to feed that to them.
Okay.
So they can do a beautiful website for $400, but it's only going to be as effective as the message. So make certain that before they start building that website for you, that you have a conversation with them and you tell them, this is what the website's for. This is what I want it to do. And here's the messaging that I know is going to work. So it has to, you have to take this message and you just make it look pretty for me. Otherwise, if you don't do that, what's going to happen is they're going to guess, they're going to assume what you want, and it's not going to be right. And they're going to go and they're going to fill it up with stuff that's going to look great, but it's not going to be your marketing. So just make sure that you should really figure your marketing message out first before you go into web development. Like for any of you guys that bought a domain and you think you need a website right out of the gate, I'll tell you the website that you need should have 2 words on it. That's coming soon. That's all you need. And you can usually get a free page from, whoever you host with that can put that up for you. But spend your time and your money developing your message, and then pay a minimal amount to have that put into a website and made it look pretty. Right.
Thank you.
That's what I would do.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Lily.
Hey, John and everyone.
Hello.
I also, John, wanted to tap into your mental catalog of stuff with these industries because I'm in sales as well, right? Working as a loan officer with an independent mortgage broker. And I have, 2 different avatars I'm targeting, like, for instance, the client, the homeowner, really the person that wants to purchase. But as you know, in this market, it's really hard to qualify a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm targeting, referral partners, such as realtors. And
Okay.
I really want to be able to help them with their sales as well, not just offer them loan products and solutions for their clients, but more like, how can I help them with their marketing message as well? And so I wonder what your ideas are as it pertains to the ACT program too. Like, how can I bring them in,
Sure.
to this program?
Here's what happens in a lot of cases. When somebody learns marketing for their own benefit, a lot of times they'll fall in love with the process. And what they wind up doing is they wind up being in a different business of supplying marketing to the people that one of the people they used to be. Like in your case, are you a mortgage broker or a loan officer or?
Loan officer working for an independent mortgage broker.
Okay. So what you'll do is you'll discover this new secret superpower, right? And then you'll want to share it with all the other people that you used to be. And it can spin you off into a whole different business. I mean, you might wind up being a marketing expert for mortgage brokers and loan officers. And in the process of doing that, you might find a whole bunch of ancillary sales opportunities along the way. Like you might find title companies, and you might find, all kinds of things that intermingle inside that universe, and you can connect them all together, connect the dots, make commissions. I know there's a lot of stuff in there that maybe you can't make commissions. I'm not totally up on all the laws and regulations inside that particular thing, but I know wherever finance is included, there's regulations and there's rules and things like that. But even if you can't, let's say there's regulations and you can't make referrals and you can't make money making referrals in there, you can always find ancillary opportunities outside of there. Like when the house is sold, there's a mover involved. Sometimes two. Sometimes a mover to take the stuff out of the old house and one to bring the new stuff in. I guarantee you those movers would pay you sales commissions all day long to get that business. And then there's interior decorators. There is landscapers. There's roofers. You know what a homeowner needs. It's a mile long. And all of those people don't operate under regulation. They operate in a, pay for leads. So they have no problem paying for leads. And so there's a lot of opportunity. So you might find that you're no longer a loan officer.
I've noticed that that's kind of like where my attention is going, more on marketing, than the product itself that I offer. And so again, curious what would you recommend us to do when we want to bring people into this program so they can learn about it and also craft their message? Or would you recommend we do it for them?
It depends. Some people want to do it. Some people just want to make referral sales. So what I would do, or what you're going to find out, I'll tell you what you're going to find out. If you've got, let's say you had 100 people that needed marketing and you were going to make the referral to them. If you refer them to, hey, there's this program where you can learn to do this yourself, you'll get a percentage of them that will just buy the program and you'll make money. What you'll find along the way in doing that is you'll get some of them that say, oh no, I don't want to do that. I just want to have it done. And then you automatically say, oh, well, I can do it for you. That's what I do. I've just found that most people want to get into it, learn it, and do it themselves so they can save some money. What you just did there is you preface, this is going to cost some money. And if they're still leaning in, then let them lean all the way in. But I did this with somebody that was actually in your exact shoes about, I guess this was probably about 15 years ago. I helped him, and when he first came to me, he wanted more leads for the business he was in. But then he told me about this little side business he was doing that was a nursery where he sold exotic palm trees. And it was just a side thing. He just did it on the weekends. So we got into it. I showed him how to market it. I showed him what he was doing was wrong. He was trying to advertise to get people into his place during the weekend. And it was costing him a lot. And, you know, he was just breaking even, but he was doing it because he liked it. He liked the nursery. He liked being in there and working with those people and growing these exotic plants and all this stuff. So I said, look, instead of marketing for a weekend, why don't you market to have them get an opt-in that will tell them what you have in inventory? So now he's building a mailing list. Then he got to stop paying for the ads, and all he had to do was send out a thing to his people every weekend, say, hey, we're having a sale this weekend. This plant just came in stock. Come on down and get it before we're out. And he went from having a handful of people there on the weekends to having to hire people to help him. And it wasn't long before that was his full-time job. And he did landscaping. He had trucks and crews. He built a phenomenal business out of that little side thing. And now you probably wondering, oh, well, what's he doing now? Now he has a karate studio because that's his new love. And he found that it was just as easy to market that as it was to market the nursery.
Awesome.
So it allows him to do whatever he wants to do that makes him happy. So I'd really encourage you guys to learn the process, because, you know, as we get older, our interests change, things that make us happy change. And if you know how to weave that in, you can pretty much take it wherever you want, do whatever you want with it. I tell people this is the most powerful tool you're ever going to put in your tool belt, is learning how to do marketing. So the other thing that I would say that was the only thing more powerful than marketing is sales. If you're a really good salesperson, which most of us are not, if you're a really good salesperson, that's the highest paid job on the planet, is sales.
Right.
And if you're really good at it, you can sell anything to anybody and you're in high demand. But
Yes.
But marketing to me is the ultimate, because I don't have to do the sales. It'll do it for me. So.
Yes. Gosh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, Ellis, we'll get you handled here, and then I'll get into the little demo I was going to show you guys.
Okay, thank you, John. You know, really, I appreciate your kindness to let us be in your program. I'm not sure, you know, I have a few questions. First is this ongoing, like your weekly training for the subscriber?
Yep, it's been going on since about 2010.
Oh, okay. So, you know, I mean, I started to use Alignable about 4 months ago. I found out that it's really valuable. And then through Sue's introduction of your avatar, I thought, wow, this is really good. And so I'm kind of, you know, interested in your monthly program, you know, so I like to subscribe. You know, I think today you give a lot of information, very valuable. Like you talk about the marketing. You know, I mean, I'm in wellness and weight management. I think I'm blessed to have a good business for the past 26 years without knowing the marketing and the sales. Okay, you know, but I learned. But a couple of things. First is that, you know, in the avatar, you know, since I was in that you know, event. I mean, in that seminar. So you mentioned about, you know, how to identify avatar. I guess first I didn't know what it was an avatar. And the second, I didn't have that kind of a, you know, like that the gentleman described, you know, all kinds of qualifications. I don't think I can find anyone, you know, in my customer base. Okay. So two things, you know, because I am focused on the wellness and also weight management. And I'm thinking in Alignable, in order to edit, you know, grade my profile. What you think should I have? Because it seems that it's a different avatar. to me, I mean, it's a wellness, yes, but it's
Yeah.
different thinking,
Well,
so what would you
wellness-
suggest?
Wellness is too broad of a topic. That's not really a thing. Like, here's something that I always do to just on my own. It's just a thought process that I use to see if I'm on to something. And whatever it is, like, let's say it was wellness. Let's say I wanted to put wellness on my radar. What I would ask myself is, are my prospects going to sleep at night, or that when they lay their head on the pillow, are they thinking, I really need wellness? No. They're thinking
Yeah.
more specifically.
Yes.
They're thinking, wow, I really need to lose some weight. I get tired in the afternoon. I really need to lose some weight. And then I try and fill in the blanks on this question. There's two blanks in the question that this is what I want them to think about when they're laying their head on the pillow. If I could only blank, then I would be able to blank. If you can fill in those two questions, you'll know a lot about what they want and why they want it. Like, for instance, a business owner, man, if I could only figure out how to get a few new customers a week, I wouldn't have to worry about payroll anymore. Right? If I could only lose weight, I could take my grandkids to the park and actually play with them.
I see.
How much better
Why?
would my life be if I could actually play with those grandkids instead of just sit on the bench out of breath watching them? Right? So that simple process will open up a lot of emotional doors for you. And it's the what they want and why they want it. If I could only blank, then I would be able to. The able to is why they want it. That's where the emotion comes from. You got to find those two things. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter if you're selling jewelry, life insurance, wellness products, cars, castles. It doesn't matter. It's those two questions. If I could only blank, then I would be able to blank. That's just a simple process. I wind up doing that all the time. And I wind up asking people all the time when they're describing to me their marketing. I'm like, well, what does your person think when they lay their head on the pillow at night? That'll tell you what's really bothering them. And that's the way that they don't necessarily think that way, but if they did, they would answer those two questions for you.
Would that be kind of a, shrink my market size? For example, you mentioned about migraine headaches. That is why I'm in this health nutrition, because of my own experience. So if I just put a migraine headaches, then would that be kind of a shrink of my market size? And really, yes, I know it's a focus, and then the market is pretty good, but what would you think?
It's not
would that kind of
shrinking.
delete others?
It's not shrinking your market size. It's just identifying your market size. If headache is the thing, how many people have headaches? That's the size of the market. That doesn't shrink the market. See, wellness isn't really a market. Wellness is like a high level category. That's like saying, we all live on planet Earth. But some of us live in North America. Some of us live in Europe. But we all live on planet Earth. So that's what you're talking about when you're talking about something like wellness or well-being. It's too big. It's not a focused thing, and nobody's going to sleep at night thinking, oh, wow, if I only had more wellness. They're not thinking that. They're thinking specifically.
So like those are specific is like, in the ideal customer or something like that, we put it in.
Yeah, your ideal customer is going to fall into the category of, okay, they have this problem. They have the money to solve it, and it's a big enough problem that they want it solved. So that fits directly into how I teach how to discover your most profitable segment. You know, it's got those three pieces. It's the size of the market. It has to be big enough. Got to be big enough to justify your sales goals. If it's too small, then you don't have a profitable market. You need to figure something else out. Otherwise, you're going to have an uphill battle. Once you figure it out, you have the size of the market's big enough. Then you look at, okay, is the problem itself big enough that they'll want to pay to have it solved? And then the third piece is, do they actually have the money to pay for it? And you could reverse those. You could say, do they have the money to pay for it? And is it worth that amount of money for them to pay for it? But if you come up with a no in any one of those three categories, it's game over. I would not enter into a business that I couldn't put those three qualifiers to it. Because that's just, you're not going to win. That's walking onto a battlefield knowing you can't win. And I don't know about you, but I would not do that.
What are the three qualifiers again?
It's size of the market. The market size has to be literally big enough to justify your sales goals. The problem has to be big enough that they want to pay to solve it. So their willingness to pay, and then their ability to pay. They have to have the money. So it's not just the ability to pay, it's the willingness to pay. You can reverse those. It doesn't matter which one comes first. It's just you have to have all three of them. So first thing I look at always is size of the market. If it's not big enough, then I don't move any further. The next thing is I usually look at, okay, is the problem big enough? You know, would they want to get rid of this? Would they want to solve this? Would they be willing to pay that money, whatever it was that I wanted for that? And if I can qualify them on those two things, then we look at the last one. Okay, can they afford it, or can we make it affordable? You know, because you can do payment plans. There's a lot of stuff that, like, most people don't walk onto the car lot and pay cash for a Lamborghini, right? They want it if it's a big enough problem and they really have convinced themselves that they have to have this Lamborghini. Now they have to figure out how to pay for it. They can pay for it. It's just you have to help them figure it out, right? So there's some nuances to it, but they literally have to be able to afford it. Like if they can't make the payment on that car, then that's not going to do either one of you any good, because they're going to default. Now you're going to have a new problem. So
thank you, John. You give me the direction already. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Good. All right. Well, what I want to do now is I want to share like some of the stuff that I've been working on. It covers a lot of what's in the ACT program. It's lead generation. It's the big idea, the attention grabbing process. It's leading them through the sales process, creating the demand and desire, eliminating objections, making an offer. It's the whole enchilada, all in one nice, pretty package. So I wanted to share that with you guys so you can see what the end result is of a marketing campaign from beginning to end. And as you know, we've talked a lot about the beginning pieces of this, the avatar, the market, all of that stuff. Once you figure that out, it's like, okay, where do we go next? What's the next step in the puzzle? So let's see, let me share the screen here and hopefully Zoom won't kick me off again. All right, so just going to my website, the Internet Dominators site, I've got a lot of stuff here, but this here, and I actually did this presentation on Alignable just this week. It was called the Elvis Shift. And this is geared toward small business owners. This is not geared toward big business. This is either people that are starting a business or want to start a business or just got started and they need more customers. It's a big market, right? I checked off the box there. The second thing, it's a big enough problem because if they don't get customers, they're out of business. So I just checked off the box there. They are willing to pay to figure out how to get new customers if they want their business to survive. And the third one is, can they afford to pay for it? Now, the price is so low that that checks my box there. I don't have to worry about any of those three boxes. I've got them all covered. So now we move into big idea. So the big idea here, remember, big idea has three pieces. First piece is the promise. So what's my promise? Get more customers, attract raving fans. So that's my promise. Now, the second piece of a big idea is you have to have a unique mechanism. This is unique only to you. They can't go out and search this and find it somewhere else, or that's not a unique mechanism. So the unique mechanism, the characteristic of a unique mechanism, it's the thing that delivers the result. So it's literally the thing that's going to do the work to make the promise come true. So what is that? That's the Elvis shift. Now, what it is, or kind of a description of it, it's an ad agency secret method called the Elvis shift. So I've got two of my boxes checked. I've got the promise and I've got the unique mechanism that's going to deliver the promise. The Elvis shift is what's going to get them the customers. And I even reiterate it here, saying, discover the simple shift that transformed a struggling musician into the king of rock and roll. Now, that's the unique, compelling part about it, the part that they're going to not have heard this before, right? How does Elvis come into saving my business and getting me more customers, right? So that's the curiosity factor. They're like, what is it that Elvis did that is going to get me more customers? What is this Elvis shift? It's high curiosity is what I've created there. So now I'm going to get the click because I've done the big idea. I've grabbed the attention. Now, just in me saying this to you guys, I discovered a problem. Literally just in the last 30 seconds, I've discovered a problem. And the problem is I didn't tie Elvis becoming the king of rock and roll into them becoming the king of whatever industry they're in. So I need to reword that. I'm going to take a sword. I've created a sword here, and I just thought of a way to sharpen it. That's what your marketing is going to always be. It'll never be done. It'll never be complete. You'll be testing it one against the other. When you come up with one that works, you'll test it against something else to see if that works better. And I can just tell you by pure intuition that if I change that slightly to include that thought, it's going to work better. So I'm going to do that before I actually launch this. But here I've got the visual. I've got Elvis, and he's got all these raving fans, attract raving fans. So I've kind of got everything I need here in an opt-in. This is to generate a mailing list. So when I click on the get free access, it pops up the window. Free video reveals how a simple business shift turned a struggling musician into the king of rock and roll. So my message is very, very much the same. I'm not doing a bait and switch here. They didn't click this and have something else come up. It's all along what they just decided they wanted. Also notice, this is a micro decision here. We were talking about divide and conquer just a little while ago. This is called a micro decision. They're not having to decide much other than, oh, do I want this for free? Yes. They're not having to decide, do I want to put my email in here, right? They're not making that decision. Equating that back to dating, right? It's like you don't ask for the marriage proposal all at once. You don't ask for the date either. You will get much higher conversion. If any of you guys are in the dating business or the dating world, and you're trying to get a date and you're having trouble, I'm going to tell you why. You didn't do a micro commitment. You went in and you asked for too much. Like, think about it. If I ask a woman to go out to dinner with me and I'll pick her up at 8, right? She's got to make a lot of decisions here. Do I want to have dinner with this guy? Do I want him knowing where I live? And do I want to be held hostage until he decides to bring me home? Right? There's a lot going on there in that question. She's probably going to say no. But if I change it and I make it a micro commitment, say, hey, I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. Would you meet me at Starbucks for coffee tomorrow? Now she's not worried about, do I know where she lives? She's not worried about having a whole meal with me. She's not worried about, when I'm going to decide to take her home. She's coming in her own car. Micro commitment. So if you do that in your marketing, you will be much more effective. You'll get a much higher conversion ratio. So that's what this is. This is an example of a micro commitment. Get free access now. Okay, nothing else to think about. Yeah, I want it. Click, boom. Now here, this is how you get it. So since I've already made the commitment that I want it, I'm 10 times more likely now to put my name and email address in. In a lot of these, in a lot of cases, what I'll do is I'll put here, tell us where to send it. Like if it's a PDF, I'll put it right in there. Tell us where to send it, which makes sense. I have to send it to them. How am I going to get it to them without them putting their name and email address in? Here, since it's a video, I didn't do that. I just reiterated the thing. This ad agency secret creates a flood of new customers. So I just put that in there. That's even more toward what they want. Get instant access, right? So when they click get instant access, it should take them to the video. So this is the Elvis shift. They can watch the video. Now notice, this is something really cool. This is the whole page as it came up. There's no way to purchase the product, right? This is the example of going onto a car lot. They're not going to give you the price right up front. They want you to get the benefits first before they reveal the price. So as we're looking at this page, I have a timer. Look at what just happened because we were on the page long enough. Now the price and the ability to order it just showed up. Now I set that for 30 seconds as the example so I could show you guys, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that to show up after they've watched enough of the video, so I've created enough demand and desire. Right? Does that make sense? It's all in the sequence of when things should happen in the marketing campaign. So after a certain amount of seconds, they'll be deep enough in here, they're going to be thinking, okay, yeah, I want this. And now they're going to start looking. And now I want them to know, okay, well, it's only $4.97 and then $29.97 a month. And then when they click this, that's going to take them to the order page. And again, this is important. In the order page, I'm still holding the same branding. I'm also giving them access to a phone number here. What does this tell them? This tells them that I'm real. This tells them there's somebody on the other end of that line. So if they make something goes wrong, there's a real person. This is trust. Most people in commerce, they hide their contact information, they hide their phone numbers, and we all know what happens when there's no phone number, right? It is a pain in your ass if anything goes wrong. So I'm eliminating that objection right there just by having the phone number at the top. Another thing, I'm showing them what they're going to get here. I'm also reiterating what they're going to get right next to the order form. So as they're going down, another thing that you could put in here is testimonials, a specific testimonial. If I want to sharpen the sword here, I could go get a couple of little testimonials and just pop them in right here next to the order form. Another thing that is a mistake that I shouldn't do, and I'm going to encourage you guys not to do, is put a place to put a coupon in here. And the reason why, if you're going to put a coupon thing in here so they can enter a coupon, you should have a coupon code for them right here. You shouldn't have a coupon code box unless you want them to take advantage of the coupon. And if you want them to take advantage of the coupon, then put the code right there for them. Because what'll happen if they see the coupon box, they're going to immediately say there's a better deal and I just created an objection, right? You do not want to throw an objection in the hurdle right here. This is not the spot where you want to fall down. You want them to complete the order and boom, you want them to agree to the terms and submit the payment. So this is a mistake. I want to point that out to you because a lot of people will put coupons in here. Now, in the presentation itself, they know this thing is not $497, it's $1997. That's their full retail price of the ACT program is $1997. So in the program, I'm automatically just discounting it for the deal to $497. So there is no need for a coupon. If I was doing it at $1997 and this showed up $1997 and I was giving them a $1,500 coupon, then I should have this coupon box here. But I should also put, here's the code, because I don't want them going to Google trying to find a coupon code. I want them placing their order, right? So that's why that's done that way. The other thing, I'm putting the refund policy right on here. And again, need help, there's my email, there's my phone number. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And then I've got all my terms of service stuff down here, my copyright information. This is all looks totally legit. I've seen so many order pages that you look at it and you go, yeah, where's my money going and what's going to happen once I send it? You don't want to create that in your process of sales. So that took us from big idea to collecting an email, getting them to opt in, putting them in our sales process. The video, this is the sales presentation right here. And I don't know how it's 37 minutes. So that's a 37-minute sales presentation that takes them through the whole process. You know, it shows them Elvis, talks about his messaging, where he got it wrong. Here's, you know, I make a claim proof benefit statement. The claim is 80% of businesses are going to go out of business in 18 months. Here's my proof. This is according to a Forbes magazine article coming right out of Bloomberg. And then I reiterate this with, you know, the reason. Here's the reason why they're going to go out of business. It's because they haven't identified their market and figured out how to communicate with it. They have not been able to communicate their value. What's that? That's a message. They have not got their messaging yet. They haven't figured out how to market their stuff. And they expect to be successful in business. It's not going to happen. If you can't communicate how to, or you can't figure out how to communicate your value, you're not going to remain in business. You know, this is one claim here that most businesses are going to be gone in 18 months. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty scary, right? It's reiterating the fact that you have to get the messaging right. And the reason that Elvis struggled was he didn't have his messaging right. You know, his message was music to young girls that was gospel music. It was the wrong message. He had the right message, maybe going to the wrong audience. When he changed it, he got a little racy. He realized that audience, they were rebellious. They wanted to rebel against the standard, the norm. They didn't want gospel music. That's what their parents wanted them to listen to, right? They wanted something more racy. When he changed his music to something more racy, he got put on the Ed Sullivan Show, broadcast out to 60 million people. And here's something that I share in the presentation. when they did that, he came out on stage for the first time, and he was somewhat of an introvert. He was not used to big audiences. He wasn't used to having, you know, a bunch of girls screaming his name. And when he came out on the stage for the first time in the Ed Sullivan Show, he actually was so nervous, he had a twitch. His knee kept twitching and he couldn't control it. And what he noticed was every time it twitched, the girls went absolutely apeshit. They loved it. So he immediately recognized that, and then he started doing it intentionally. He took the reaction from his audience and he leveraged it. He sharpened his sword. And by changing the message, he took a simple message that was the wrong message, he shifted it to what his audience wanted, and he became the king of rock and roll damn near overnight. That's how you all can do the same thing. It's listening to your audience, figuring out what they want, seeing their reaction to what you give them, and then sharpening your sword. That's how Elvis did it. That's how you all can do it. So as I go through this presentation, I'm creating massive, massive demand and desire for how to create a marketing message. You know, I tell all these different stories in here. The one about the Celine Dion, what it takes, how to create this messaging, all the stuff that, you know, is in the ACT program, how to change beliefs, how to get rid of objections. And what do you think they want by the time I'm to the end of this? They want the outcome. They want to be the king of rock and roll. You know, and then we get into the offer. You know, we talk about having a marketing campaign on autopilot is like having a money printing machine. I'm showing them visuals for every point I'm trying to make. You know, and then I introduce them to the system. This is the thing that's going to deliver that result. So I did a little bit of a bait and switch from the Elvis shift. I'm telling them the Elvis shift is going to change their business into the king in rock and roll. But this is how you do the Elvis shift in your business, is through the ACT program. So again, this is the presentation. And here I talk about the support. I talk about the price. There's the $19.97. So it's presented as this is the retail price. And then we've got the limited time results in advance offer. I don't know if I ever shared this with you guys, but when I started selling ACT, I never really wanted to sell it for $19.97. I wanted to put the price on there, and I actually sold some. When I first started selling it, I sold it for $19.97. So there's a number of people that paid $19.97 to go through the program. My real goal was to get more people in, and I knew I could get, 100 times more people in at $4.97 if I made it affordable. So my goal was to sell it for $4.97. So I left the retail price at $19.97, but when I did presentations, I said, the price is still $19.97, but I'm going to give you a results in advance offer. Today, you pay $4.97, and we defer the second payment until you've made $100,000 in your business. So after this thing has delivered $100,000 in sales, that's when you owe the second payment of $1,500. So it's a results in advance offer. Now, I knew, because I know human nature, I knew what that was going to do. It was going to do two things. It's going to allow someone to feel like they're taking advantage of me because they'll never make the second payment, no matter how much they make. And the other ones that are honest, it's going to put a speed bump on them. It's almost like a thermostat to not make 100,000 so they don't have to make the second payment. As idiotic as that sounds, right? If I was going to tell you that I would trade you $1,500 for 100,000 right now, How many of you wouldn't do that? That's basically what I'm making in the claim here. But I know there's going to be people that don't want to make the second payment. So it's an objection. It's creating an objection that I'm going to leverage in my favor. So in the presentation, I say, here's what I'm going to also do today. Anybody that gets it today, I'm going to allow you to trade the second payment for a video testimonial. So instead of penalizing them with a $1,500 payment for their success, I'm going to reward them and I'm going to celebrate them along with me. So I just shifted the whole balance of power right there in this results in advance offer. And then I break it down to the actual cost of this at $497. If you spread that out over a year, it's $1.36 per day. And then I make that seem like it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculously low amount. And I ask them, I said, if you don't do this, if you don't take this program and you don't figure out your marketing message and you don't make the $100,000 and you don't change your business forever, well, let me ask you this. What are you going to do with the $1.36 that you're going to save? It might get you a couple bites of a Big Mac because I had talked about McDonald's earlier in the presentation. So what are you going to do with your $1.36 that you're going to save and not be successful because you let that get in your way? It's very powerful when you start tapping into their logic. You know, they're already here. If they weren't to this point, they wouldn't want it. Remember, you seduce the heart. We've got the heart pretty damn seduced if it's going to sit through a 35-minute presentation. It's the only thing standing in the way is the head. The head is in the way, the objection. That's the only thing standing in the way. And the way you eliminate the objections, you know, it's seduce the heart, convince the head. You're convincing the head with logic and reasoning. So that's this conversation right here is the final fork to stick a fork in it and actually turn this into a sale. So that's when you get into the offer. And I haven't talked much about offers with you guys yet. So this is probably the first time you've heard me actually talk about crafting an offer. So there's a lot of stuff. When you go through the ACT program and you get to the part about creating an irresistible offer, it will cover all the components that I just showed you of what it looks like live to have one at the end of the rainbow. So this is very powerful stuff. And then here, the guarantee, I actually made a unique guarantee. I saw somebody do this once. They had a dog ate it. The dog ate my homework guarantee. And they basically said, you know, that's something we all know, dog ate it. You know, where's your homework, Johnny? Well, the dog ate it, right? That's the excuse. So I'm basically giving them a valid excuse where they don't have to take it or own it. All they got to do is say the shark bit it. If they don't want the program within 30 days, if they decide, hey, this is not for me, just call us up, tell us a shark bit it, 100% money back guarantee. So this is a reverse of risk reversal. So that's a key part of an offer is risk reversal. The what if it doesn't work for me? Well, it's no problem. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. There's no risk on your part. It's a risk reversal. And the fast action bonus. Here's the one. If they do it today, they can trade the second payment for a video testimonial. And this right here, I swear when I do this to a live audience, they light up like a Christmas tree. They literally light up because they know they want the thing. They're totally sold on the $497 today, but that thing that says they're going to have to make that $1,500 payment is just like a needle sticking them in the ear. And I just removed it. I just pulled the thorn out. And that's pretty much the end of it. And then I tell them where to get it. internetdominators.com/act. And I just send them right there to the order form. They can also see it down here. They can get to the order form right there. And I tell them, you know, prospects to customers in 4 steps. Grab attention, create demand, eliminate objections, and close the sale. And you guys just saw every piece of it in this campaign. Now I can show you where all this stuff was created in the back end. You saw the front end, you saw the pretty picture on the front end. But inside Kartra, this is where it was actually created. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. I was editing this page. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Now, that campaign had several pieces to it. First, it had an opt-in form, which is in forms. So you can create your forms in here. The form is the thing where they put their name and their email address in, and it puts it onto the database. So in communications, you've got your databases. So this is your lists. So you've got leads, you've got lists, and you've got tags. So I've got, and talk about segmentation, I have quite a few lists here. Like this is local SEO prospects, 342 people on that list. Local SEO customers, 26 people on that list. This is a mastermind group, 67 people on that list. So here's customers of an SEO software, 903 customers on that list. Here's affiliates, people that send me these customers. So when I communicate with the list, if I want this message to go to just the affiliates, guess what? I can send it right to them. I can send it to them without anyone else seeing it. You know, there's thousands of people in here. Here's opt-ins. This is interesting. Site pop opt-ins. 973 people opted in. 903 turned into customers. That's pretty phenomenal. It's because the follow-up sequences. It's because they were taken and they were nurtured. And you talk about divide and conquer. Every step of this war was won. You don't get 900 out of 973 without winning every battle. That's how you win the war. So here's website evaluation. You know, 1,600 people have signed up for website evaluations over the years. But you can see here's Elvis opt-in. There's 66 people that have already opted in to watch that video. And I literally just created it. So you can see these are all lists of people. When I talk about building mailing lists, I've got a boatload of mailing lists. I've even got one for the boat. So and then you have tags. You know, people that are in your list, they can have tags assigned to them. And one of the tags that you can create, like these tags tell me exactly what they're interested in. And notice I've got some set up. This is a campaign I haven't even run yet, but this is WordPress speed. This is for people that want to speed up their site. I haven't even run the campaign yet, but this is an abandon. If they get to the cart and they don't finish the order, they get a tag assigned to them so I can follow up with an email sequence to figure out why they abandoned the order and where I went wrong and what I can do for them. I know they wanted it. They got that far in the process, but now I want to follow up because I don't want to lose that sale. Here's one, the conversion maximizers. 665 people have opted in for my list of conversion optimizers. This is how to build your website the proper way. Those are perfect leads for me to sell web development to. I know what they're interested in. They need a better website, one that converts. So that's the lists behind the forms. So when the form is the thing that captures the lead and puts it into your database here, you can see I've got 96 tags in all. So I'm segmenting the holy bejeebers out of my lists, so I know how to talk to them. Now we go to pages. This is where you actually develop the pages. And I can segregate these out to act. And then I can go down. And here's my Elvis video. There's my checkout page. Up at the top, I actually put this into my website, but up here, I'm creating an actual page that I can send people to for my affiliates. Like, I don't want my affiliates to send their traffic to my home page to try and find this. I want to send them to a landing page that the only thing they can do is click here now. And it's the same message. It's the same big idea, but it's just, instead of being buried in my home page, this will be a standalone page. So this will be, let's see, here it is right here. So that's what the page looks like just on its own. That's a lot better than sending someone to my homepage and dig through all the rest of it, and they'd get sidetracked and they would wind up not opting in. They'd see some other cool thing and they'd be off to the races. So I'm going to channel them and keep them on the track, not going to derail them. So when an affiliate sends traffic to me for this, they're going to send them right here. They're going to sign up. They're going to watch the video. They're going to make a purchase. And that affiliate's going to make money. They're going to make 50%. So they're going to make about $250 for every sale. Every person they send here that buys is going to get $250 for them.
So John,
Yes.
can I ask you a quick question? So when you showed the very first video, not this page, but the first, and you took us through the whole thing.
Yes.
When you got to the page that they could sign up, in light gray, it said refer Brooke Banks. Is that an affiliate that would have referred them to that page? See at the bottom under I agree to trans.
Yes.
See where it says refer? So
That-
that's how you can track who's sending people to you?
That is correct.
Ah,
So,
okay.
so when she sends that person, she's going to get
Yep.
credited on that sale.
Okay, so that's how you track that.
Uh-huh.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So if I want to see my affiliates, that's under products. And then this is another piece. You create a product. This is where you tell it how much it is. Like, this is the ACT program here. And this is where I would go in and edit, and I can set all that stuff up. So I'll show you the process. And it's literally page by page by page. You go through and it's like paint by numbers. You just have to fill in the blanks. So you do the basic information. That's the name of the product and the logo. And then you set up if you want credit card or PayPal, and you plug that in. And then next you go to the pricing. And this is really cool. Notice all the different pricing that I've got here. So I've got the $497 for the first 30 days, and then automatically that goes into the support, the $29.97 a month. Then I've got a Black Friday special where we knock the $497 off the front and just let them in for the monthly fee. Then I've got a $99 special where we knock the $497 down to $99. I've got full price. I've got $997. This includes 3 two-day events where I do 1 2-day event on an overview of the ACT program itself, where I spend 2 full days with a live audience going through it. I spend another 2 days on automating the process, the creation process. And this is what I'm showing you guys right now inside of Kartra. We spend 2 full days actually creating a campaign from scratch. And then the last one is 2 full days on traffic. And once you've got your messaging in place, all the different traffic sources that you could use. And then I've got a Chamber of Commerce free entry where people from Chamber of Commerce can get in for just the monthly fee. And then there's no shipping, there's no tax, there's a 30-day refund policy. And let's see, let's go on to the next. Here's where I tell it where the product page. This is the sales page for this product. And then gives you the ability to put a different thank you page on each different price level. I've just got the same page. There's just one thank you page. I don't need a different one for all of them. Then we go to the checkout process. This is where I just use the Kartra look and feel. I didn't add a header to it because I did that in the page itself. I customized the page, but I did put a help desk. If you put a help desk, you can actually create your help desks right in here inside of Kartra. And that's where somebody can click the button and go to your site. Let me see if I can find it here. Get back to okay, so here's my site. And then down here, the little help desk, this is Kartra. So this is Kartra built right into my site where they can look at their orders, they can look at their tickets, they can sign up for a support ticket, they can get the phone number to call. And I've got it into sales inquiries, tech support, billing support, and automated sales attendant. Makes you look like a much bigger company. You know, the only thing on the other end of this phone line is my wife answering her cell phone, but she operates all these departments, right? And the tickets, they all come to me. Yeah, so it's, and Kartra can do that. It can run your entire support system, support team, whatever you want to call it. So that is in there. And then
What's
the
difference
fields.
between this and Shopify?
What was that again?
The difference between Kartra and Shopify.
Shopify is more of a shopping cart solution. It's kind of like a web hosting package all in one. Whereas Kartra is a marketing tool. I mean, you can see all the tools in here. I used to piece all this stuff together. Like I had a shopping cart, I had an email list, I had a page builder, I had to hand code my forms, which I don't think any of you would like that process. I had a membership software, I had video hosting services, I had a calendar service. I didn't even have surveys and help desks. But every one of those things was a monthly charge I was paying for. I was paying like, hundreds of dollars a month to piece together with duct tape my marketing program. And it was a pain. Every time something went wrong, I'd have to go find it. In what system does that problem exist? It was a nightmare.
So I want to create a Valentine's Day campaign. I can use Kartra for that.
Yes, you can create any campaign you want in here. So here in these different prices, notice I'm putting an act cart abandonment tag. So if somebody gets in here and they get to my checkout page and they don't fill it out, that's an abandonment. So now with this tag can trigger an automated follow-up process. So that's really cool. Bump offers is like upsells. When they put something in their cart, it can recommend, hey, you might want to get this. You might want to add this into the sale. And then we've got post sale, like after they purchase this, what happens? So I add them, no matter what price they came in at, they get added to my customer list, my ACT customers. They get tagged as an ACT member. Remember the one where they get the 3 2-day events? If they buy that one at that price, they get that tag as well. That tag triggers the delivery of that product to them. And then here's accessing their product contents. I give them access to the membership, the members area. And then here's advanced automations. There's one automation rule here, and that's the one where if they abandon the cart, let's hit them with a follow-up sequence. And then we go on to the affiliates. Now here, for every different price level, you can set your initial charge, like the affiliate, 50% to the affiliate. So I give my affiliates 50%. The only one, this one has a 0 because it's an oddball thing. But usually the affiliates get 50% on the initial charge, and then they get 25% on the following charges. Now, if there's a JV broker involved, what that is, that's a broker that's setting up affiliates for me. So I pay them a commission on top of the affiliates to do that job. So here they'd be getting 15% on the front, 15% on the back. I don't mind doing that because this is all automated. It takes no effort on my part when somebody purchases this. It's all auto delivered. They get instant access to the membership. They get on the calls every week. All that is all automated. I'm not doing one more minute of work, whether there's one person that signs up or 5,000 people that sign up. So it's totally scalable. So I can pay very generously to drive sales in here. And I prefer that over spending money on advertising. I would rather share the money with people than with Google, you know, or these big ad companies. I got no joy whatsoever out of spending money with ad companies other than I'm making sales and making new customers. But every month when I go in and I go into my product section and I go to my affiliates, every month I'm paying out affiliates. And I just did the affiliate payouts, but over here you can see the payment history. So this guy here, he's a JV broker. I've sent him over $100,000.
Wow.
This one, 48,000. There's 18,000. I pay these guys up on the first of every month. There's 25,000, 29,000, 30,000. I get more joy out of sending those payments out than I do of sending money to an ad company. Makes these people really happy. And it makes me really happy.
So what you're saying, I'm sorry, John, what you're saying is you can set up an affiliate program for your product and it doesn't have to go through it doesn't go to Kartra Marketplace.
No, this is an affiliate program just for me and my products and in my Kartra account here.
Okay, if I wanted to say talk to somebody who already has a list and offer them a coupon code and a affiliate commission, would I be able to do that? If so, how?
Yeah, when I showed just a little earlier, if you go back and watch the replay, if you look where I was going in the product and I was setting the product up, the last step of the product editing was where you set up your affiliate commissions, your affiliate program. So it's an awesome program.
Does Kartra offer support?
Yes. They have a support system. They don't have like an 800 number or anything like that. But they do have a support ticket system that you can go in and use.
So there's nobody you can talk to if you need help.
Now, I offer Kartra support here in this, in this membership, and I'm very familiar with it. I'm probably better at support with Kartra than they would be directly from the factory.
So I could give you a call if I had bought Kartra, but if I buy it from you, or if I just go to Kartra and buy it, can I get support from you? Or like you sell Kartra? I can't hear you.
He froze up.
Here, now I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry about that. It happens. It's been happening more and more with Zoom lately.
But John, you sell Kartra, right?
I am a Kartra affiliate. In fact, I will put in the chat here the link to it.
Sounds like a good idea.
So I'll tell you this, is I switched to Kartra a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, and John convinced me to switch. And I'll tell you, more times than not, I will call John about a Kartra issue than I will call Kartra. And 90% of the time he's got the answer. And if he doesn't have the answer, he says, give me about 24 hours. And usually in 24 hours, he solves whatever problem we have. That's
Wow.
how good John is with Kartra.
Yeah. I've been using Kartra exclusively and extensively for probably about 4 years now. And there's nothing I don't know about that thing at this point, I think. And it's interesting. This was really cool. I got a call from the people at Kartra, and this was about 6 months ago. They called me up because I'm an affiliate, and they said, we're reaching out to our top affiliates. And I was thinking, well, you know, why are you calling me if you're looking at top affiliates? And they said, well, you're right. You haven't sent us the number of sales to be in our top list, but what got you on our radar was you have by far the highest stick ratio of all of our affiliates combined, like far and away, like all combined, they couldn't even come close to touching my results on stick rate. And they wanted to know how I did that. And they're trying to figure out how they can bottle me. And I told them, I said, it's because I don't sell your product just to make the money on it. You know, that's what most of your affiliates do. They push people into something they don't need. And I don't do that. I said, I have a program where I teach people marketing. And when they're ready to automate a marketing campaign, I refer them to Kartra because it's the right thing for them. And I support it and I help them. And I do Kartra support on my weekly calls for anybody that needs it. So when I put someone into Kartra, I know they're going to run their business on it and they're never going to leave it. Like, why would you give up a tool that costs you, you know, $99 a month that's running your entire business and automating it and allowing you to go on a cruise for a week and come back and everything's all just like you left it. Only you got more sales and more money and more customers in there when you get home. That's pretty damn cool. I said, why would anyone give that up? I said, that's how I sell your product for you. And that has created several other new conversations with them. And they decided just recently, as of like 2 weeks ago, that they're adding me to their advisory board for their company, not just for Kartra, but for all of their products. And I'm helping them put together a vendor program to expand their business, you know, probably tenfold in the next 2 years.
Nice, nice, very nice.
So now if there's a problem in Kartra, I have direct access right into the belly of the beast. So there's been a couple of times, you know, over the last 6 months where something was wrong with their system and I could get in with their programmers and actually help them fix it. So
wow.
that's pretty cool. So I have an inside advantage in there. So, and I offer, you know, I extend that out to you guys. If you have a problem with Kartra and you can't get an answer, I can get an answer for you. Russ,
How come you didn't tell them to hire some support people?
well, they have support people, but they don't know marketing. I mean, they know their product and all that, but there's been things that I've come across where, you know, I talk about sharpening your sword. I'm just helping them sharpen their sword, not just for them, but for everybody. And for me, it's kind of self-serving. I want it for myself. It's in my best interest to help them make Kartra the best it could be because I use it. So it's self-serving, my interest in helping them. So Russ, you had your hand up there.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I had to step out into a meeting, and you may have covered this or not, but in the meeting, they were asking me to develop a training application complete with quizzes. Would Kartra do that?
It does. Yep.
So
They've got a
if they
whole
have
new-
like a module 1 and do what module 1 says and then do a test and then go on the module 2?
Mhm, yeah, they have quizzes and also surveys. But with the quizzes, you can actually score them and you can give them a score on the end of it. And you can also assign badges, and it's pretty cool.
Is there someplace I can go to learn more about that to see if this will work for us?
Yeah, if you go to the Kartra site, I've got the link up there. I made it easy.
Yeah, I just went to that link and it says that Kartra competes with Kajabi, and I know Kajabi does things like that, right?
Yeah. The forms and the surveys and the tests, the quizzes, they
Right.
just added that about 6 months ago.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, so it's fairly new in there. I've kind of played around with it. It's really easy to do.
Yeah, okay.
And
So that
you
would
can
be under
also, if you have a
features.
if you have like a membership site, you can actually put the quizzes in there. Like if I wanted to create a certification process and certify people as marketers and certify them under the Internet Dominator brand, I could do that with using that system.
Oh, wow.
So I could hand out certificates, and that's something I may wind up doing in the future. I've done that with live events, like when people come and they spend 2 days with me. I certify them. I give them, they leave with a certification with the little gold thing. Didn't you get one of those, Russ, when you went through?
Yeah, when we were at your parents' house.
Yeah. So that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah. Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you, John.
All right, you got it. All right, Ben.
Yeah, I just put a question in the chat. I was asking about the limit on domains, but then I noticed it had an add-on domain it cost. What are the add-on domains costs?
Okay, so when you get the Kartra, it comes with everything. So you can put the subdomain in there, which is what I did. I run it under a subdomain of internetdominators.com. That way all your pages are branded with your domain. You get one as the base price for the $99 a month. If you go up to the next level of Kartra, which is the silver level, a lot of that stuff is unlimited. So that's where you get unlimited add-on domains. If you want to just purchase one, I think it's like $5 a month, something like that. So if you're at the 99 level and you want additional ones, I think it's $5 a month to add them.
And you can bring them in from an external source. You don't have to register the domain with Kartra.
Correct. Yeah. You can either bring in a whole domain or you can do a subdomain. Like I did a subdomain, so I just kept it on my Internet Dominators domain.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
But yeah, you don't have to register them through Kartra. All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, cool.
I have
I'm
another.
just gonna have a whole bunch of questions in the future. I'm just letting you know.
I'll be here until I'm not.
You're wonderful, John.
I'll be here if I can.
Thank you, John. Have a blessed day.
You too.
John,
You're
for
wonderful.
someone-
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're wonderful, John.
Absolutely. Lisa, did you have something?
Yes, for someone like me that don't know, like I'm not like computer savvy or that don't know, do you offer like one-on-one where you can help me implement this and let me know like what I need and how to work this Kartra?
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
I do have higher end programs where I work with people one-on-one. I've also got people that have been through my apprentice process that can help to also, they're people that you could hire. And that's what I'm working with Kartra on, is to create a vendor place where there's people that have the skills, kind of like a Fiverr, where you could go in there and you could say, hey, I need somebody to set up a campaign for me. And then they would have different prices and templates. And that's another cool thing. I showed you probably a tenth all of what it'll do. But one of the things it'll do is templates. Like I could create a template of what I just showed you guys, like my opt-in and then my video page and then my order form and my product, all of it all together. I could put that into a template and then I can basically export it right out of my Kartra account right into yours. And then you've got all the pieces. And then all you have to do is just go in and edit the pieces and change out, you know, my information for yours. But you've got all the structure. It's all connected, tied together. It's a done campaign. And then you just edit it. So that can save a lot of time in creating new campaigns.
Where do I find the pre-done campaign within Kartra? Kartra has some, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, they have a bunch. Basically, they're on the left-hand side, you click on the campaigns tab. And then that's where you'll find those. So I'll hope that Zoom doesn't kick me out again, but I'll share the screen and I'll show you. So over here on the left, there's a campaigns tab. So if you click on that campaigns tab, it'll take you in and it'll show campaigns and funnels. And in here, you've got available campaigns. Like these are campaigns from Kartra. Like if you want to do an email course campaign or a prospector campaign, lead nurture campaign, 3-step application campaign, extended membership. They have a ton of these things. Video sales letter campaign. Here's one called a tripwire. That's where you sell a little sliver of a product just to get someone on, like a book. I think they even have a free book campaign in here as well. There's a lead magnet campaign, consulting, membership, product launch, free membership, a master class. I mean, there's a ton of these already in here.
So on these autoresponder campaigns, what platforms can they push out to? They have SMS, ringless voicemail, things like that?
Well, this is the campaign. It's all built right in here.
Is it email only?
No, it'll do SMS as well. You go under integrations. When you're in the integrations tab, you can do like SMS and there's your providers. So you can connect Twilio, Nexmo, or Clevo, I guess that is. So you just connect them here and then they're available in all of your accounts, all your campaigns. If you want email, third party, they have their own email service built into Kartra. That's the Kartra mail. But they also have SendGrid if you're going to send mass emails and you know, they don't want you sending mass bulk email through Kartra. Just, you know, if you have customers in there, it doesn't matter how many there are, no problem. But if you're doing prospecting and you're doing stuff that's going to get complaints, they don't want that going across their mail platform. So you would pick, you know, something like SendGrid or Mailgun or, you know, something that was more bulk mail friendly. And then memberships, this will connect and you could run a Kajabi membership from your Kartra account if you wanted to. Or if you had wish list and inside of WordPress. This is the one I used to have. I used to have a member. That's how I did all my membership sites. And since I've been on Kartra, I haven't used a member in probably 4 years. But Optimize Press. So there's a lot of integrations in here that you can use. Under payments, they've got Square, Braintree, PayPal, and AuthorizeNet. And as you can see, I have multiple businesses that I run all out of this one Kartra account. So I have 3 different merchant accounts using AuthorizeNet. That's for 3 different businesses. I've got 4.
Facebook or Instagram, like your campaign can't go to none of those sites.
Let's see what. Oh, Hub, that's Zapier. Zapier will basically allow Kartra to connect to anything. So Kartra, like if you were getting opt-ins and Instagram, you could use Zapier that would pull them right into Kartra for you. So, and then calendars, if you can connect it and sync it with your Google Calendar. So over here, Kartra has its own calendar system. So you can have people sign up for calendar appointments, and then it'll sync it onto your Google Calendar. But with Kartra, everything is integrated. You know, it's really cool. When you go into the prospects, like I'll look myself up here. How did I get David in there? Okay, so if I go into my own record, you'll see it's got the referring affiliate, so it will show who the affiliate is. It'll show all the tags for this customer. It'll show all of their information. And then you can go into the different tabs and you can see what lists they're on. Let's see, I don't want that. So it'll show what lists they're on. You can unsubscribe them from these lists. It'll show when they subscribed, when they unsubscribed. So I'm on a lot of lists. I test all my stuff. And then emails, it'll show all the emails that have been sent. It shows if they were opened, if they were clicked on. It shows sequences. So sequences is a sequence of follow-up emails that can be triggered. And then memberships, it'll show what membership, what levels, and you can resend the login. Like if you have a customer that doesn't know how to get into their membership, you can just come in here, click resend, and it'll just send them an email with their username, password, the link to get back in. Here's the surveys. So surveys and quizzes go under here. And then calendars, so it'll show your, your calendar events. And then orders, it shows all the orders. This is also how you get to, like if you wanted to do a refund or something, you would go in here and it says this order has been refunded. It was $1 test I was doing just to test the system. But if I wanted to refund, I could just click and refund the order. So you have full access to, all the stuff about your customers. You've also got help desk. It'll show you the tickets that they've put in, when it was, if it was resolved, the status, and then the log. It'll show what pages they've visited, what tags have been assigned, what videos they played. Like this is just from today. It shows that I landed on that video page because I was showing it to you guys. Visited the page, we clicked play on the video. Pretty cool stuff. It tracks everything. And let's see, what else is there in here? Oh, anything you can go under, like, let's say we go under videos. You can go up to the analytics. And you can go in here and you can see, like you can pick the video that you want to see and you can see how many visitors, how many plays, how many completes, the average watch time, and it shows all your videos and all their stats. I have a bunch of stuff in here that I've just not even promoting. When I do my year-end process, this is like some of the stuff that just makes me sick, how much more money I could be making if I go in and just use all the stuff at my disposal.
Can you upload your own personal video there?
Yes.
Okay.
You click on the videos tab here, and here's all my videos that are in here that I've put in. So they do video hosting. So to do a new one, you just click on the plus and you upload a video, you give it a name, you can select a category, and you hit create, and then it's going to ask you to upload it. So this is where you'd click upload, and you just find your video and load it up. And then once it's uploaded, you can change all this different stuff. There's all kinds of, you can put a call to action on the end of it. You can assign lead tags. At the end of the video, you can have actions, like you can have it advance you to another page, or, you know, all kinds of stuff. So there is just a phenomenal amount of stuff that you can do inside here. So in surveys, this is where they have the surveys and quizzes. So here it's like additional survey, a scored quiz, or a personality quiz. So you pick the one that you want to set up, and then you can set that up. Oh, let's see. There's just an absolute ton of stuff that you can do inside here. The campaigns, this is my campaigns. These are campaigns that I've created that I can literally give to you. Like if you get a Kartra account and you want my webinar template, it's got 27 assets. And it's created by Internet Dominators. I could just literally forward this right into your account. So I do share, and then I have to agree that, yes, this is mine to share. And I can either transfer it right in, or I can give you a share code, and then you can go in and import it. So either one. If I know your Kartra name, I can just transport this right into your Kartra account. And it's 27 assets. So it has 8 pages, 7 tags, 3 products, 2 lists, 2 forms, 2 sequence, 1 membership, 1 video, and a help desk that I've already pre-configured everything. It would take you a fair amount of time to figure out how to piece all this stuff together. And
So
with
I'll just change my video to your video, your 2 products and my 1 product.
Yeah, exactly. You just change it up. I have much simpler stuff in here. Like I've got this one here. This is attention grabbing icons.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see this on my site. This month's freebie, attention grabbing icons. Get instant access. This is a Kartra thing. You put it right into my site. So it's all the different icons. You can use these in text messages. You can use them in emails. They work in subject lines, and it grabs people's attention, you know, more than just text. So all you have to do is just copy this. You copy that icon and you can paste it into text and it will show up. It's really cool. So somebody that does that, guess what? They're on my list now. I gave them a free thing that was really cool, and now I can market to them. If they got this, I pretty much know they're doing email marketing. I know they at least want to be marketing. So I can follow up with them based on inside knowledge. There's nothing better for marketing than inside knowledge. That will advance you faster than anything. It's knowing your avatar. Well, I got an avatar here that just introduced themselves and they said, hi, I'm into marketing. I want to get more attention. So I know that about them now, and that might be all I need to know.
Hey, John, I have one more question.
Okay.
You talked about last week about coming out with a book for prompts for ChatGPT.
Yes.
What's the ETA on that book?
Oh, it's done.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah. Let me show you that one. All right. I got a ton of stuff on my site. So if you go to the site and you go here to limited time cyber specials.
Yeah.
Click that button. There's the book, AI Automation.
Got it.
So I had Fiverr. I sent over to Fiverr and somebody made me the book cover. I created the book in Word for Windows and said,
You're gone, John. Unmute yourself.
I keep getting knocked off of Kartra every time I want to share something. So anyway, here we go. So there's the book. Came from Fiverr. So we put it in there, grab our free copy now. And then again, this is a Kartra page. They can download the book. Guess what? I'm giving them a special bonus. They can get an enterprise Zoom account for just $12.99 a month. That Zoom account would cost you probably $350 a month because it's the full webinar. It's the 500-seat webinar, and it also does the enterprise transcription. Like when this webinar is done, or when this Zoom meeting is over, Zoom is going to give me a full transcription of the entire thing. What
Please
everybody
send
said.
it to us. Please send us the recording.
Yes, I always put the recordings up. But this is get an enterprise Zoom for $12.99. So not only am I giving them the free book, this is an affiliate offer where I get paid if anybody signs up for that Zoom account. And you're never going to get that deal anywhere except for going through this working live link. So pretty cool stuff. So you download the book. It'll save it to your desktop. And then you can open it up. And it's 58 pages. And there's the ChatGPT right at the top. And then I talk about the prompts right here. And here's an example of an entire chat session. So there's the prompts, the responses. So this is a very long one. This is one that we started. I started that one with Gregory, and he took it and went even further. And then here's another one. This is another case study of prompts. So these things this is actually Gregory's one that he went on, and it goes on and on and on. But it's like, follow up on our recent conversation. This is an email sequence. Write me a series of 7 follow-up emails that start mild and get more aggressive. And it's just pumping these things out. And then as we go down, like this is a really cool one. Please rewrite as if you were David Ogilvy. David Ogilvy is the famous guy from the 1950s that came up with the big idea scenario. And when it rewrote it, it literally sounds as though it's in his voice. It's just awesome what this thing will do. Even signed it, Sincerely, David Ogilvy. Oh, there's another one. Turn this into a 30-second elevator pitch. So in one chat thing, you could literally create an entire marketing campaign.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome. Here's create an opening from stage. Creating a speech. It's just that's a press release. Create a press release. Here's one. Please rewrite for a 3rd grader and word count not to exceed 500 words. It will literally, this is like having an army of salespeople on your team, and you're just telling them, hey, do this, do this, do this. And it's popping the stuff out as fast as you can tell it what you want. The trick is in telling it precisely what you want and how you want it. So you can see this thing goes on and on. So you can download that right now. You can get this, you can read through. I'm just trying to get down through this. Yeah, this is the one Gregory did. He went deep. That was awesome. All right, so here is high performance paid tools. So Copy Pro, and again, this is using the same AI on the back end. It's templatizing it to make it easier for you. If you don't know how to ask the questions, they've created some templates in there and it will help you do your job. And again, I've got affiliate links in here. This one actually works with Jasper. The two connect, and they've got, if you go to the site, I think they have a webinar that shows you how they use it in combination with this Jasper tool. And what Jasper is, Jasper, again, it's a window to ChatGPT, but it's not to ChatGPT. It's the underlying technology that ChatGPT uses. So these people have direct access through API to that engine. So let's see, there's, here's one called AnyWord. And this one, let's see, this is another one. That's not the one I was thinking. Well said. This one is AI that turns your text into voice. So if you need voiceovers for your campaigns, you can create, you know, whatever you want and turn it into a voice. Here's
So I was seeing today that they are using it to actually build websites as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy what these SEO tools will do. That's where that marketing blocks would do whole campaigns and websites and graphics and brochures. And this one here, Surfer, this is a great tool. It's been around for a few years. It will use AI to analyze your competition for search engine value to help you decide what you need to do to your site to get it to the top of the search. So that's a cool one. This is a tool I just found last week. This is awesome. It's AI PRM. It's a Chrome extension that you can put into Chrome, and it will tell you what you need to title your web pages to grab attention. It's phenomenal what this little thing does, and it's a freebie. And then this is actually my software here, SitePop. We've been using this for over 10 years. We developed this over 10 years ago. And naturally, we've had a lot of iterations to it, a lot of updates and reforming of it. But it's search software. It sends signals into Google to train its AI who belongs at the top. And naturally, we're telling it we do. So that's how that one works. And I think you guys have probably seen this big idea on how I sell this. SEO Insider reveals how he uses AI to rank at the top of Google. 5 secret signals that reprogram Google's artificial intelligence and forces your sites to the top. So that's again, an attention grabbing big idea for how I sell that. And this is the one that I showed you guys, and I actually bought it. This was the one that I sent back because I knew I wasn't going to use it. But not to say that it's not good, because it does all this stuff. It'll do video scripts, it does a lot of the graphics stuff too. It'll create books, graphics, videos, landing pages, websites. Quillbot, if I remember correctly, this one will actually write an entire book for you. You could import a book into Quillbot and it'll rewrite it for you. And then this one is, I think this works with LinkedIn to access B2B decision makers using AI. So there's a lot of stuff in here. BuzzVid, and that's the end of it. So it's a pretty cool free resource for you.
And how do we get the book?
That's the one I just showed on the website. If you go onto my website and you click on that button at the top, let's see, what does it say? what does the button say? It's limited time cyber specials. So click that button on my website. It'll take you to the page, and there's a bunch of free stuff on there. That's where you can get my conversion maximizers book, my artificial intelligence book, and a bunch of other stuff. So, all right. Anything else? I think I've hooked some of you, I'm sure.
Thank you, John. Pretty amazing, always.
Thanks, John.
It's like a bottomless pit. I could stay here and do this all day.
Thank you again very much.
Wow, we've gone 2.5 hours.
Sure did.
All right, guys. Well, have a great week. We'll be back on next week. I'm here every Thursday, unless I got something else I've got, and then we'll move it around, but I'll let you know well in advance. So until then, you guys have a great week and learn marketing. Do that for yourself. I guarantee you it'll be worth it. So see you, Richard.
Thanks, John.
Goodbye,
You're the best.
everybody.